Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some beauty trash. It has been a couple months since my last Empties video, and there are a fair amount of products here in front of me that I am so excited to share with you some of my reviews on and my full thoughts on because I have used them up in their entirety. I absolutely love Empties videos myself, and I really hope that you enjoy hearing some of my insights on all of the products that I've finished up in the last couple months. And I do just want to say I am feeling a little bit out of sorts, like a little awkward, because it has been about 2 weeks since the last time I sat down and filmed a video. And I do want to say a huge thank you for all of your understanding and your respect and just, yeah, your kindness about the fact that I have announced that I'm going back down to 1 video a week kind of upload. I don't want to put the pressure on myself to film and edit more than 1 video a week because I really do need to prioritize school, and I need to just get through the next couple weeks, like 6 more weeks, and then I'm done. And I am just so excited to kind of just get back to my own routine and not be like, you know, constantly thinking about school, and not Monday to Friday, like every freaking day, every waking hour I'm thinking about school. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that to be over, but I just need to prioritize it for the time being, and I really do appreciate all of your understanding. But yeah, it's been a few weeks since I sat down to film, so I'm feeling a little out of my element. But let's just get on into talking about some beauty empties, and I think we'll get back in the groove in no time at all. So the first category I want to talk about is some skincare products. The first thing I have here is by Derma. This is the Hydrating Night Cream with Hyaluronic Acid. This is such a nice night cream, a beautiful moisturizer. I did receive this in PR from Derma, and I have since repurchased one for myself. Patrick and I both use this. He actually uses it in the daytime. He showers in the morning, and then he basically has to put a face cream on after the shower because the hot air really makes his skin very dry. So he puts this on because he finds that this isn't like too rich or too slick, but it soaks into his skin really well, and he does really enjoy the fragrance of it. Personally, I love the fragrance as well, but I feel like it's just a tiny bit too rich for me for the daytime because I would like to wear makeup on top of it. But I do wear this in the evening times, and I absolutely adore it. And when we were getting kind of low on it, Patrick asked me, he's like, are you gonna be getting another one of those from Derma? Because I kind of want to just use that face cream from here on out. And I was like, don't worry, I doubt that I'll get it from Derma, but don't worry, we will purchase another one. And we ended up purchasing it immediately after this was used up because we absolutely both love the way it feels on our skin. I find that it is rich enough to use as a night cream, and I don't really feel like I have to like lock it in with an oil, but it doesn't feel super heavy or greasy or uncomfortable in the skin to the point where, you know, sometimes you just feel like you can't really touch your face because it's just so slick. This doesn't really give me that feeling topically, but it gives me that rich, intense hydration internally more so than like on the surface. And I love it. My skin feels very balanced, very nourished, and very plump when I use this as well. I really like it, and foresee myself repurchasing that from here on out, I think. And then I did actually finish up 2 toners. These are both by Cocokind. I actually went for a facial, I think back in September or October of last year when things were still kind of like open and you could still kind of go out and get some services done. When I got the facial done, I think they were kind of trying to sell me like a skin cuticles toner, but the girl was telling me like, you need to start using toner every time that water touches your face, you should be toning it. And I mean, I hear such, you know, uninteresting things about toner. Like people are like, I don't really see the point. I've never really seen the point in toner either, but I ended up picking up these after that trip to the spa, and I love both of these so much. And I honestly can't really tell you exactly what either of them does for me, but since I haven't had these in my life for about a month now, I am missing both of them. So the first one is the Raspberry Vinegar Toner. This one is for clear and even skin. I would use this in the morning because in the morning I don't cleanse my skin. I just use warm water on my skin, and then I would use this and then go in with my morning skincare routine. And I felt like this created a really good canvas for the rest of my skincare to go on and cleansed my skin in a way that didn't leave it feeling stripped or purged or anything like that. It didn't feel overly cleaned. It didn't feel squeaky clean, you know, like some other toners can. It just felt like ready to go. And honestly, this does smell a lot like apple cider vinegar. It is so evident that this is vinegar in it. And I personally don't find that off-putting, but I think some people may. I'm definitely missing this. The last few times that I went to Shoppers Drug Mart over the past like maybe 3 months, it's always been sold out, and even on their website. But I imagine now, perhaps it might be back in stock because Cocokind was like changing up their packaging for their full line. They were putting their recycling and like disposal information onto their packaging, so perhaps that's why this has been out of stock. Felt like I had really beautiful clear skin when I was using that as well, and I think that just created like a nice barrier between my makeup and my skincare in a way that really protected and kept my skin on par. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean, because I feel like that did not make any sense. But the other one is the Rosewater toner. This was basically just like a rose water, and it was more so, I think, suited to dry or normal skin, as opposed to this one is like technically for like acne prone skin. But this I loved using in the evenings because I did do a full cleansing routine, but I would use this just on a cotton pad, or I would honestly just spray it onto my face and kind of like work it into the skin, or spray it into my hands and then work it into the skin. Same with this product, actually, same thing. And I freaking just love this. Like, it just made my skin feel so ready for a pamper. And I don't know if toner really like is a make or break step for me, but there was something about the ritual of using either of these, like this one in the morning and this one in the evening, that I really felt like my skin was at its absolute best when I was using both of these. And I have been noticing I have more breakouts now than I did when I was using these, and it's not like I'm wearing makeup all that often, and I'm not wearing a mask all that often because I just don't go out. But I think it really was these two products that really helped me and just kept my skin at bay. And I love that these are in glass packaging as well. Sorry, that was probably a little loud, but I love that these are in glass bottles, because not only does it make it easier to recycle because it doesn't have any other components, you literally just separate this out and then you can recycle this. But it also just makes it so easy to reuse for any other purpose. Like, I'm probably gonna put some lemon juice and water into here in the summer and just spray it through my ends to kind of lighten up my hair. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these, but I'm gonna hold on to these and use them for other purposes because they're just great. They're really great. The sprayers on both of these were amazing. Really great product. I have just fallen head over heels for Cocokind as a whole. Every single product that I've tried from the brand, which is very few, but every single product that I've tried is just like stellar. I love it. And then one other skincare kind of product, this is the Sugar Advanced Therapy Lip Balm by Fresh. I've had this in my life for like 3 years because it was missing for quite some time. It was actually in my ski jacket. So I ended up finding it at the beginning of this year because I decided to list that jacket as available in my like local Buy Nothing group, because I've never loved the jacket, and that's so not the point of this video. But I ended up finding this in my jacket pocket after it being in there for a year, and so I ended up trying to just finish it off recently. But this was a product that generally did live in either my car in the winter or in my jacket in the winter, because it is a very rich, nourishing lip balm. And it really does feel like a treatment, because in the winter here, it is windy, it is cold, it is dry, and this just really felt like it created this barrier that really protected my lips and then also soothed them. And it had a beautiful like sweet lemony kind of dessert scent that I'm in love with. And I apologize for the neighbor's truck. And I ended up scraping every last little bit of product out of here, and I absolutely adored it. Now, this brand is not technically cruelty-free. I'm gonna make a video about my cruelty-free status soon. I don't know when, but I have been kind of trying to figure out what I wanna say in that video, but I have removed my cruelty-free status from my YouTube as well as from my Instagram, and I don't really think that because this isn't cruelty-free, this is something that I wouldn't recommend. Like, I've had that in the past where I've said, I don't recommend this because it's not cruelty-free. Well, that's not the reason why I wouldn't recommend it. I just feel like, for me personally, this was a really great product. It is something that I did enjoy genuinely, and I think a lot of people out there would, and a lot of people do enjoy this line. but it is a little bit costly in my opinion and just for me. And right now I don't need any more lip balms in my life, so that's really the reason why this isn't something that I would repurchase. But it was extremely effective. It was a really beautiful lip balm. Now this is a bit of a weird one. I did receive this in PR as well. This is by Foamie. This is the Shake Your Coconuts. I think it's just called a shower sponge. And it is a sponge that had like soap in the middle. I have this unit here, but now it's just a sponge. The soap is completely gone. It like actually was like little beads of soap that came out of here eventually, and this ended up tearing. And I think the point of this is that it doesn't have any plastic packaging, but now I have this sponge that is garbage and I have this box that is garbage. So not really my cup of tea. It did smell really nice. Like the coconut scent was really nice, really fresh, invigorating. And like this was nice having like a built-in kind of loofah to suds up the product and to apply the product, but absolutely so far from necessary for me and my personal taste. And I just tend to prefer using bar soap because it has less waste and it just is super easy. And yeah, this, I think it said 30 washes. Patrick and I both used it. I honestly don't even think it lasted us a month, which would add up, honestly, but I just don't really see the value in that. But it was interesting to try out and smelled really good, not gonna lie. And then I have a couple of hair care products here. The first one I did finish up in my non-makeup project pan. This is the Paul Mitchell Tea Tree Lavender Mint Conditioning Leave-In Spray. When I finished this up in my project pan, I did say that I didn't think this was available anymore, but I recently saw on Chatter's website and on the Paul Mitchell website that this is still available, which I'm so stoked for because I am working my way through a couple other leave-in conditioners, but I will be going right back to this. Paul Mitchell like products can be a little bit costly, but this lasted so long with very consistent use in its like last part of its life. So I started using this in the project pan back in August, and I was at this point, and it took me all the way until February, the end of February, to use up this much product, and I was using it very, very, very often. And I think that this is something that honestly I would enjoy using basically every single day because I loved the fragrance. That lavender tea tree scent was so calming and just so delicious, and it was so good, and I talked about it endlessly in my non-makeup project pan videos. But this is something I really do think I'm going to purchase in the future. I just want to work my way through other comparable products because I don't have any need for an excess amount of leave-in conditioners. It was such a good product. I could not sing its praises enough. I love it. And I want to try more from that line too as well, actually, because I really did enjoy it. I think tea tree is so effective for someone like myself who has a very sensitive scalp. I wouldn't say I have dandruff or even like a really itchy scalp. It just is very sensitized, and I'm very just like aware of it, and it gets very tight and uncomfortable. And so tea tree products are really effective for that. And this next product actually is one I believe that also does contain tea tree as well. This is by Derma. This is the Scalp Revival Shampoo. This is for soothing dry and irritated scalp. I would put my scalp for sure in that irritated kind of category. And although I didn't put this onto like the roots of my hair often, what I would end up doing is I'd spray this like through the lengths or work it into the lengths of my hair, and then kind of whatever was left over on my hands, I'd kind of just like work through my scalp to kind of not only alleviate my scalp and give a little bit of moisture to the tops of my hair, but I would also kind of just like try to lay down the crazy flyaways with it. But this is a shampoo, and so of course it's dedicated to really use targeted onto the scalp to really like work out buildup and to just cleanse the skin there. And I loved this. This I did purchase myself. I do get PR from Derma, and I'm really, really thankful for that because they ended up sending this to me in PR. Like, I'm not even gonna exaggerate. I had finished this, and like 2 days later, they emailed me and asked me if I wanted to try out that line, and I said, I actually already really love that shampoo. And they were like, okay, we'll send you the shampoo and the conditioner. And so I have both of those in my shower right now, and I freaking love it. And it has been a rare occasion that I have strayed from my Avalon Organics clarifying shampoo, the lemon one. I've talked about it endlessly on my channel in the last 4 years that I've been making videos. I don't shut up about that freaking shampoo, but this has made me kind of move a little bit away from it. I almost like alternate between these two. So I use this one wash, and then I use the Avalon Organics one the next wash. And I think that is so great. My scalp feels so good, so good. It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't feel irritated. I'm not even like, it's so funny. I always say this, but I'm not even aware that my scalp exists when I use this or when I use the Avalon Organics one. With any other shampoo, I'm so heavily aware of my scalp because it feels so uncomfortable. But this is like amazing. This is so good. I did purchase this one myself, like I said, but now I have a backup that I did get in PR, and I've been using it in addition to the conditioner, and that is just like such a good range. It is so good. It definitely smells a lot like tea tree, but I find it very like invigorating and very just like exhilarating almost in the shower. It's like that clean, cool mint kind of feeling, and I just adore it. So yeah, absolutely love. Highly recommend if you find that you have a very like sensitive scalp like myself. And this is another aside. I just feel like this whole video is me not really talking about the products that I have here in front of me, but the scalp treatment, which is also part of this line that came out more recently. It just came out at the end of February. Oh my God, it is so good. I've already used up like half of the bottle. I did receive that one also from Derma, and I've already almost finished up like half of it because I freaking love it. It is so good. It is so good. That line is amazing for someone like myself. Highly recommend. But yeah, let's get on into the makeup, and hopefully I can be a little less chatty about the makeup. But the first item I have here, I recently just finished off. I put into a Shop My Stash because it had to be done. This is the Too Faced Hangoverx 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. I used to really sing this product's praises. I used to absolutely love this product, and I don't think it's bad, but at the same time, it kind of leaves me without any sort of like real impression on it anymore. I used to really enjoy it because I did find that when my skin was very, very dry, I used to be on acne medication. When my skin was very dry, I could spray this onto my skin even when I had a full face of makeup, and it made my skin feel very hydrated, and it looked actually nice. Like, it didn't look dry and flaky and cakey. It actually just like looked like nice, balanced, normal skin when I would spray this on. And more recently, I've been using it more as like a priming spray, and although it does offer a little bit of nourishment, it doesn't really help with the application or wear of my products on top of it. And I'm just kind of indifferent about it now. I don't really think that setting sprays are like a necessary step for me or something that I really care that much about or have any interest really in at this moment in time, and especially one from Too Faced. Like, I've just kind of lost interest in the brand. I've lost interest in a lot of brands lately. I don't know. But yeah, I just feel like this is one of those, like, I could take it or leave it. I used it up because I had it, and I did like it at one point for a very specific reason. But now that that reason is not relevant anymore in my life, I just don't really care for it, and I don't need it. And I ended up finishing off another like setting spray kind of product. This one is by Pacifica. This is the Coconut Essence Hydro Mist. This is technically, I believe, more of a skincare product. This is like a hydrating spray for your skincare routine. You can put it on like before you put on any sort of oils or moisturizers, or you could use it afterwards to just kind of like hydrate and refresh the skin. I actually really liked using this kind of as a setting spray to not lock everything in place, but more of like a finishing spray to just kind of make everything kind of settle down, especially if I did have some powders on my skin, which I've not really been doing as of late, but if I had powder on, I just felt like this kind of locked everything down into place and just took away that powdery kind of look, made everything look a lot more uniform and much more natural and cohesive. And so I did enjoy it for that. This was just a like mini that came in a set, by the way, that my sister gave me for Christmas one year, but I just don't really feel like I need something like this in my life. And I do have a couple other setting sprays kicking around that I will use in this sort of way. But it's not like I need either of these to offer me that kind of step in my routine. I'll just use what I have, and eventually maybe another setting spray will make its way into my life, or maybe it won't. Another kind of priming product, this one is by Ilia. This I did finish up in my Partners in Cream project pan. This was just a deluxe size sample of the True Skin Radiant Priming Serum. This was really nice, and it did make my skin feel very comfortable and hydrated and like ready to put product on, and actually had like a slightly tacky texture, not anything near as tacky as the Milk Hydro Grip. I did not enjoy that product, but more so as just like a tiny little bit of grip that I think made makeup sit really, really nicely on this. It didn't pill or it didn't like sit in any sort of weird way. It just sat so well on top of this product, and although I did like it and I found like it made my skin look nice, this sample wasn't quite enough to make me feel like it was an absolute necessary step in my routine. I have other hydrating kind of product bases that I do enjoy just as much as this, and yeah, I just don't really feel like that's something that I need in my life, but I was happy to try it out, and I do actually think it's quite nice. It's like a oil serum kind of product that sinks into the skin really nicely, but also just creates this perfect primed, grippy base for other products to sit on top of, and I really did like it. And then another product that I kind of used in many different ways. I use this sort of as a primer, sometimes as a liquid highlighter, sometimes as like a mixer. I would mix it with primers, I would mix it with foundations. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Spotlight, and this is in the shade Opal. Okay. Last time I mentioned this on my channel, somebody commented like, oh, aren't you sad about Becca closing? And quite honestly, I'm not. Like there were a few products from Becca that I liked over the years, but I just never really felt like a super big connection with the brand. I didn't feel like every time they released something, it interested me. And I'm not surprised, to be honest, to see that the brand is closing, because I've seen their products go on sale all the time, so frequently, all the time. And actually there are some good products from Becca that I would see go on sale, and it was just because there's people like myself who just are not really interested in the releases that the brand is coming out with. I kind of find things that they do to be a little bit repetitive, a little bit redundant, like they would just do the same sort of things all over again because they realized, okay, Champagne Pop and the highlighters, they're a hit, so every single freaking Christmas we're gonna come out with basically the same thing. But in any case, this was a discontinued product. I don't believe that this was something that was even available for quite some time, even prior to me really starting to prioritize using this. But I did enjoy this, but not so much more than I would enjoy other liquid highlighters. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I can take it or leave it sort of thing. But this was really pretty using it actually underneath of sunscreen specifically, but I did enjoy using it mixed in combination with other products from my collection to give myself a more glowy look. And yeah, lately it just was something that I absolutely loved using underneath of sunscreen. I watched the Honest Beauty reviewer. I cannot ever remember her channel, Lauren. I'll link her down in the description box, but she did a like sunscreen application using the Auric Glow Lust, and I was like, yo, I don't have that sunscreen. I do not have the Auric Glow Lust, but I do have my own Cocokind sunscreen, and I do have the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. So I used her technique, and I loved the way that my skin looked every freaking time that I used it. And so that's how I ended up finishing this off. But this was a really pretty product. It felt really nice on the skin. It mixed into other products so perfectly, and it offered a glow that wasn't glittery or shimmery. It just was a beautiful glow, and I did like it for that, but it's not something that I deem as essential or irreplaceable. So yeah, glad to have it used up. I really do want to use up some of my other like liquid highlighters or like glowy primers before I end up bringing any other products into my life. Like I really do want the the Auric Glow Lust. I do want to get that eventually, and so I was feeling kind of motivated to use up these sorts of products anyways, even before hearing that Becca was closing. But I digress. Let's get into the remaining products. This is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. This mixed with that Becca product was like legendary. My skin looked so beautiful. It looked so glowy and natural. I just love the Complexion Rescue. I feel like I talked about it endlessly. You're probably so bored of hearing about this, but this one was in the shade Natural 05. And it took me so long to use this up because these do contain a little bit more than the average foundation. It has 1.18 fluid ounces, and I truly don't apply very much of this at all, but it still offers me a very perfected kind of base. I am wearing the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue in the shade not natural, Vanilla 02 today. I did mix it actually with my Milk Baked Bronzer because I was finding it just looked a little bit too light for my preferences, but you can see my skin looks so natural, so glowy, so beautiful. I do have other products, of course, on top of it and other things that are giving me that little bit of glow and color to my skin, but the base is like just so good. I really love this product. I love this product so much. I am on a complete base no buy. Like, I'm not going to be purchasing any foundations or tinted moisturizers for the time being. But as soon as I run through a few other products in my collection and I'm feeling like I'm ready to purchase some more, you bet your ass I'm gonna be buying the fucking Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue because I love this so much. And I think I wanna buy the stick version of it too if they still offer that. I'm honestly not sure, but I think I wanna get both of those in my life because it just is so good. It works for me in the summer, it works for me in the winter, it just works for me in any possible situation with any sort of primer. Like today I'm wearing it with a matte primer and I still look super glowy, but then there's other days I wear it with like no primer and my skin looks so bomb. The rare time that I'm out in the world, I have had people say like, what are you wearing? Like, what is on your skin? Because it looks so natural, but obviously perfected, and it does look like makeup enough. But I've had people ask me like, what are you wearing? And it's always Complexion Rescue whenever people ask, but I freaking love it. And then I did finish off these little samples up by Buxom. This is the Plump Up the Volume little like sample set. This is the full-on plumping lip polish. Thank goodness I finally finished this up because I've had this sitting around for so long. I previously finished up Dolly and Serena, and I've recently just finished up Brandy. It really didn't take that long to use these up. I think these samples took me about maybe 5 applications, and I would just leave them in my makeup collection with either a bobby pin or a little like binder clip, depending on which one I was focusing on. I would have it clipped up, and then I would just use a lip brush to apply them, or even just my pinky finger to apply them depending on how I was feeling that day. And yeah, they felt nice. These are very, very minty, very cooling and plumping feeling on the lips. So if you don't like that sensation, you probably won't like these. I knew from past experience that I really did enjoy this formula because I did have a mini of this many years ago, probably about 7 years ago. I got it in a Sephora like favorite set and I absolutely loved it. So when I saw this as a sample on Sephora, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. And then I just completely ignored it and forgot that it was in my collection. And in recent months, I have prioritized using it up, and thank goodness, because this has been sitting around for far too long. And this is why I don't pick out makeup samples anymore, because I would always prefer to just use a different lip gloss in my collection. Even though I knew this was a formula that I kind of liked, I was like, why do I want to deal with the hassle of opening up those tiny little blister packs and then storing those tiny little blister packs? Like, I just don't want to deal with that anymore. So I opt to not have samples whenever I do purchase these days, unless it's something that like I really, really want to try. And then the very last product I have here is by Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Legendary Lashes Volume 2. We all know how I feel about Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like the brand has a lot of work to do towards inclusivity. I personally am not purchasing from the brand. However, this was something that I did get in a mystery box that I did purchase back in, I believe, July of last year, and that was the last time I purchased anything Charlotte Tilbury. This wand on this product I really like. This is a big, fluffy, kind of messy looking wand, and these are the kinds of wands I really like because I feel like I can apply a ton of product onto my lashes, and they give me a ton of volume, a lot of length, a lot of definition. I really like very dramatic lashes, heavy looking lashes, and I just really don't want my lashes to necessarily look super like fluttery and soft and perfected. I like very dramatic lashes, and this did give me that kind of look, but oh my god, the transfer on this one. I do have hooded lids, So I find a lot of things do transfer on me, and so unfortunately this was one of those things that definitely did transfer on me a lot. But I like the brush. I actually really liked the way that this would look on my lashes. I found that right off the hop it was like beautiful, dramatic look, and it wasn't something that took time to get to that point. Like other mascara formulas, sometimes they take a few weeks after being opened to like thicken up and give me that kind of look. This like immediately gave me that look. But for some reason, it just transferred so bad right from the beginning, and there was never a day that that didn't transfer on me, and I can't deal with that. It's so annoying. It's so annoying, and most mascaras do transfer on me because of my freaking hood. So it's a struggle, but this is not for me. It's not for somebody like myself, and the brand is just something that I'm trying to stay away from as well. So yeah, my apologies. I didn't even have that many products to talk about, and yet we're here over half an hour into me filming. I really hope I can kind of edit this down. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me. Let me know if you've tried any of these products, what you think about them. And yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.